Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the private server Everlasting. We're with our level 42 Scrapper, Silver Phoenix, who is on a story arc called the Division Line for Angus McQueen, and he asked us to go through this portal and disrupt Rikti portal devices on the other side. So as usual, the Rikti are trying to move things from dimension to dimension. This world has seen its share of war, and so we need to find 6 portal devices to disrupt. So these guys are real close to the entrance, and once again, this thing is big. I figured it out. I think it has to do with when I log in with any character in Sim Aurora. The Sim Aurora compass gets really big for some reason, and it makes all the other compasses big. I've been playing a different character, an alternate character, and as long as I don't log into Silver Phoenix first, it's fine. So obviously there's some sort of a bug with that. So we're going to go along and look for portal devices in this wrecked area and see what there is to see. And we're going to follow my regular practice here of finding the edges. See just how big the zone is. There's part of the edge. There we go. And as we go along the edges, we may see one of the portal devices. We may find a boss. Here's the edge here. This is basically a Boomtown style map. But it seems like this whole world has been destroyed rather than just one section of it. You can see how enormous this outdoor zone is. I don't see any portals yet, but right now we're just drawing the boundaries. And this is a big map. And there's the edge, and there's... Oh! I went out by accident. That's alright, we'll go back in. I went back to the entrance. And unfortunately the entrance goes all the way up. But, as I was over here, I saw a device. Where was it? Right there. There we go. And we're going to have to fight these guys first. Oh gosh, I forgot to put practice brawler because I was role-playing. Sorry about that, guys. That was stupid. Yeah, the last thing I did was we had a supergroup meeting, and I turn off the auto practice brawler because it just drives people crazy if my character is constantly going shoo, shoo, every 30 seconds, you know, every minute and 30 seconds. So, I didn't want to irritate people. It turned out, actually, that the team mostly did their meeting in Discord in voice chat, rather than in the actual supergroup base. But I didn't know they were going to do that at the time, so... So I turned everything off so that I wouldn't, you know, do special effects spam into the meeting. And then it turned out it really didn't matter because the meeting was done entirely on voice chat. And they did that because there was just a lot to discuss, and I guess they figured it would be quicker and easier to talk to us all verbally and explain things to us verbally rather than trying to explain things in text. You can see how awesome this character is at this point. Alright, let's see. So this is the edge of the zone here. And then it goes up, and then it's going to turn back in. Alright, so this tells us the limits of how big the space is. And now we need to go through and find the portals. And there's one. I'll head through the middle here. There's another. There's a chief mentalist here and an infantry, so let's go ahead and beat them up. There's actually 2 portals right here. Knock him over. Nope. Tried. at least that knockback worked. Yeah, one of the reasons they had, they talked in voice chat was because they were trying to get, I guess, a more rapid response from people. One of the things that actually came up was discussing using voice for, like, doing stuff in game. And so they talked about, most of the time you don't need voice chat. But what they were talking about is now that we have a big enough team, our supergroup by itself can do the Incarnate Trials. Those Incarnate Trials, I think you need 24 players. I think it's 3 groups of 8 or something like that. I've never done them. So what they were saying was that you really need voice to do that because I guess it's on such a hair trigger in terms of doing things exactly when they need to be done correctly that it's just too hard to do in text, and you have to do it by voice. And you know, listening to that made me go, I don't even know if I want to do the Incarnate Trials, really, or at least do them much, because frankly, I don't. One of the things I like about City of Heroes is that it's a very forgiving game. As you could see, I forgot to turn on some of my defenses. I didn't die. You've seen me over aggro a bunch of times. What have we died? About 12 times, I think, on this character. Total, we're 42nd level, and if you look at the stats, we've defeated something like 12,000 enemies, which means once every 1,000 enemies, I get killed. And the reason isn't that I'm this awesome player, it's that the game is pretty forgiving. And if you know what you're doing, you don't have to be frantic about clicking on things. You've seen me accidentally click this over to the wrong thing, and oh, go darn, I gotta click it back. Or while I'm fighting, I'm playing around with this thing, trying to move the inspirations around where I want them. And, you know, I'll be talking. It's a very forgiving game, and I like that it's a forgiving game. I don't play video games for tension, for an adrenaline rush, for anxiety, right? I get enough tension and anxiety from my normal life, right? I get enough of an adrenaline rush every day when I commute to and from work on the highway with the other drivers who are terrible drivers. I've often said, you know, I'm not normally a prejudiced person, but I am prejudiced against one type of person, and that is other drivers, because they're all bad universally. And so, I mean, I get enough of that in real life. I don't need excitement from a video game, and I play for fun, not for excitement. Now, some people get fun from that level, that adrenaline rush. And I've talked to people who, you know, they do PvP because of the adrenaline rush. I don't do PvP because of the adrenaline rush. I don't want it. Oftentimes, I'm playing these games at night right before I go to bed. I don't want an adrenaline rush before I go to bed, or I won't be able to go to sleep. So if it turns out that the Incarnate Trials are very tense all the time, and you have to be perfect, and you're like on this adrenaline high while you're playing it, and your heart's pounding and your blood's rushing through your veins, that I'm not going to enjoy it, and I will not play it. I won't do it. So you may not see me do that at all in this character, guys. We'll just have to see what happens. I mean, I'm willing to try them, but this is why I stay away from a lot of task forces and trials too, because they're very tense. A lot of them can be very tense, and I don't want the tension. I like to be relaxed and have fun. So, he says, all the evidence indicates that the Richte's portal devices have been tampered with before you arrived. That, in combination with another outbreak from inter-Richte violence, points to the possibility that the Richte are undergoing an internal schism. And we know that there are the restructuralists and the loyalists. At least there were the last time we did an arc about Richte factions. So we call him again, and he says, I have spoken with a number of contacts I still have among the lost about the recent Richte against Richte battles we have seen. Few are willing to tell me anything but one, a man who has taken the Richte name Nenkolf, has agreed to talk. Nenkolf will not speak to me, fearing I will contaminate his hard-won Richte thought pattern, but he has agreed to speak with you. I believe he is genuine. However, He is concerned that members of one of the factions may attempt to prevent this meeting. Despite the danger, I would like to ask you to meet Nen Kulf and find out what he has to say. So we're going to meet Nen Kulf in Bricktown. So yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I don't like having to deal with voice chat is because that's the vibe I get from it a lot of the times, right? You have voice chat running because you're doing something that isn't like very critical timing, very, very hair trigger, and if you mess up in the slightest way, your team will wipe. And that's not what I want. I want the ferry. There's the ferry. And so, yeah, I don't like playing that way, right? Again, I play this game for nostalgia, for fun. I play games to unwind and relax, not for tension, not for having my blood surging through my veins with anxiety and fear because I might be killed at any moment. Like, I don't have fun that way. I'm not saying anybody else shouldn't have fun that way, and I know people who love it. Well, they love PvP, and they're like, how can you do PvE without PvP? The whole idea, they like open world PvP. Why? Well, because they can be killed at any moment, and they have to be on their guard, and they're always... I have a really good friend who loves open PvP stuff. He plays EVE online, and he absolutely loves it. He even got me trying it a little bit, and I stayed in mostly the safe areas, and you can't really make a lot of progress doing that. Because the game wants you to do an open PvP, and he was like, he had this guild, and he was trying to like do a war with another guild, and he got really into it, and he got his ship like blown up, and he had to build it over again. Oh, this is so cool, you know. He loves that tension, that feeling that he could be jumped at any point. That is exciting and fun to him, and he loves it. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you love, but that is not... This is what I want, Bricktown. That is not for me, right? It's just not enjoyable to me. And so that's why I prefer playing the story arcs, playing with just a couple of friends, just doing fun missions and being relaxed, right? And one of the reasons I'm not putting it on +4, because I don't want to constantly be on the knife edge all the time. I mean, you're on a knife edge a little bit with super reflex no matter what. But I don't want to, like, I don't want it to be so easy that I can do it with my eyes closed, which is what would happen if we were on +0. But I don't want, and we really should be on +3s, but the +2 missions keep insisting on giving me one more than I asked for and doing +3s anyway. And I don't want to fight +4s right now, so I'm leaving it on +2. I'll err on the side of a little easier, just, again, because I don't want that constant tension, that constant adrenaline rush. It's just not for me. I have enough, you know, tension in my life. I don't need to get it from a video game, right? I play this game to relax, not for tension. So, but yeah, you know, that's me. That's how I play the game. I don't expect anyone else to play it my way, but hopefully you can understand, and hopefully my super group mates will understand that there's a reason why I don't do these like incarnate trials and stuff like that, and it's because I don't want that tension, right? That, you know, constantly dancing on the knife edge. Are you going to survive? I'd just rather not. And if you make the slightest mistake, not only will you die, but your team wipes. I mean, here in this mission, if I screw up, I'm the only one who bites it, right? But if I'm on a team mission and I screw up, the whole team could bite it. And I don't want to have to be like, oh, I'm the guy who caused the team to wipe because I clicked the wrong button at the wrong time, so I have to be perfect. And that's just not something I find fun. Hopefully people understand that. I also absolutely, if it has to be done that way, I wouldn't be able to record it, right? Because I'd have to be using my voice for communicating with my teammates and not for describing what's going on to you folks who are listening. So there's that as well. So that's why you're never going to probably see one of these, at least with me doing it. right, on this stream, and one of the Incarnate Trials, and that's fine. I mean, it's not the case that I wouldn't do them just because I can't. Just because I can't show it on YouTube, I mean, who cares? But it's just another reason why you're unlikely to ever see on this channel an Incarnate Trial. At least not one that I'm narrating. You know, I mean, I might, if I do them, I might record them and, you know, maybe just do a little video montage of it. But I'm almost certainly not going to record it like this and have narration, because you kind of can't. Right? Not if you're doing voice over Discord. Right? Then we're going to have to be talking to each other about the mission, and I won't be able to narrate. And I'll drive everybody nuts with the narrating, right? Okay, knock these guys down. Yep, couldn't stop them from shielding the drone. I apologize if my voice doesn't sound very good today. I mean, not that it ever sounds great, but I have a cold, and it's affecting my nose, and it's affecting everything else. And there's the guy we're looking for. And we saved him. My friend told me you would come. I will tell you many things. So, he says, Rikti are divided two factions, Restructurist, Traditionalist. Yep. Traditionalists are a fanatic faction. They seek ironclad rule. They seek total recreation of home Earth Rikti society. They are bound in old ways. They are inflexible. Converted Lost are second-class citizens for Traditionalists. Restructurists seek new ways, Restructurist reforms. Blocked by Traditionalist agenda. Traditionalists seek total rule of humans. Rikti, when home Earth contacted. I provide location of strongest Traditionalist leader. So these are the guys that want to do the bad things. I guess the Restructurists maybe want to live and let live. And he has given us their location. So we call our contact, who says Nenkolf's information was very interesting. The Rikti here on Earth are having difficulty figuring out how to proceed without guidance from their home Earth. It may be possible to take advantage of this. One of the two factions in Nenkolf outlined, the Traditionalists, seem to pose a larger threat. I will filter the information through the intelligence network and check on the location Nenkolf provided you. So he asks for missions, and he says intelligence has been able to confirm the information provided by Nenkolf about the current location of major Traditionalist leader. I have further been able to verify the leader's identity as Sekelka, the leading scientist with the Rikti invasion force, who is believed to be in charge of their dimensional travel research teams. The strategic nature of her position within the Rikti science hierarchy increases the priority of Sekelka's capture. So, go capture Sekelka and her guards. So that's an Independence port. Don't know how long I've been doing this, so I think what I'm going to do is we've done 2 missions. I'm going to stop here, and I'll be back next time with more City of Heroes.